Hi students, this is Karimunisa Sayyed, Associate Professor in Zoology. Please give your five feedback to zoology.bcu@gmail.com. Welcome back to session 32, under which we are going to study the unique system of starfish, that is water vascular system, under the paper Zoology 2, which includes NANCA data part 2. So why do we want to learn the structure of water vascular system in Astreus? Definitely, it happens to be an unique system of canals developed by the organism as an adaptation to its simple body and also an adaptation to its complex marine environment. So you may wonder how in nature such an animal with a simple body structure is able to survive, the turbulences which occur usually in the marine waters. Definitely, before we study the water vascular system of starfish, we must know the structure of starfish. Coming to the structure of water vascular system, water vascular system is also called ambulacral system due to its arrangement. You can see most of the parts of water vascular system are located in the ambulacral region. So thereby this system is also called ambulacral system. It is a modified coelom. It consists of seawater filled canals. Of course, in the coelomic fluid, which is mixed with the seawater, often we come across some cells or the corpuscles or the amoebocytes. And this water vascular system plays very important role in the locomotion of the animal. Coming to the various parts or the organs of the water vascular system, as you see here, the water vascular system consists of a sieve plate called madreporite, which leads into a stone canal, which is attached to a ring canal, and radial canals, lateral canals are the podial canals, 2 feet, Titman bodies, and Polian vesicles. Coming to the first structure, that is madreporite. Madreporite is a round or subcircle, oval, calcareous plate occurring on the arboreal surface of the central disc in the interradial position. That means at the base of two arms which form the bivium. As you see here, its surface bears a number of radiating, narrow, straight or wavy grooves or furrows, and each furrow contains many small openings or pores at its bottom. This madreporite has number of pores as we have seen, and all these pores, they lead into a very short tubular canal called pore canal. And you can see here, this pore canal exists within the substance of madreporite. That means within the wall of madreporite. There may be about 200 pores and also same number of pore canals. The pore canals, as you see here, they unite to form small collecting canals. And all these collecting canals, they open into a small space called ampulla beneath the madreporite. This ampulla further opens leads into an S-shaped canal called stone canal. The stone canal is extended downwards, that is towards the oral surface, and it opens into ring canal. As you see here, the walls of the stone canal are thick as they are supported by series of calcareous rings, and the lumen of this stone canal is lined by very tall flagellated epithelial cells, which will help in propelling the water towards the ring canal from the madreporite. Coming to the ring canal, as you see here, the stone canal leads into ring canal. The ring canal or the water ring is located to the inner side of the peristomial ring of ossicles. So that means it is present subepidermally, and it is directly above the, that is towards the arboreal surface, just above the neural ring sinus. So it is wide and pentagonal, or it may be circular, and if it is pentagonal, the each angle of the ring canal will lead into a small radiating straight radial canal. Attached to the ring canal, there are about 9 small round glandular bodies called racemose bodies or Tidman's bodies. They are 9 in number and they are interradial in position. You can see in the radial position we have the radial canal. So in between the radial canals or in the interradial position, we see a pair of Tidman's bodies or racemose bodies. Near the stone canal, there is only one Tidman body, so thereby altogether we see 9 of them. These Tidman bodies, as you see here, they rest on the peristomial ring of ossicles. The actual function of these Tidman bodies is still unknown. However, they are supposed to be lymphatic glands to produce amoebocytes of the water-vascular system. That means they are protective in nature. These cells or amoebocytes are protective in nature. Similarly, in the interradial position on the ring canal, we also see the formation of Polian vesicles from the inner side of the ring canal in the interradial position. And the number of Polian vesicles varies from species to species. There may be 1, 2, or 4 little pear-shaped, thin-walled, contractile bladder-like structures or reservoirs with a long neck. And these structures are called Polian vesicles, and they are supposed to regulate the pressure inside the ambulacral system. How they are going to regulate these pressures, water pressures? So whenever there is excess of entry of water, these Polian vesicles, they try to collect and store the excess of water. And if at all there is a less pressure in the water, less water in the water vascular system, they try to release this water into the water vascular system. Thereby, they try to regulate the water pressures which is circulating, the water which is circulating in the water vascular system. Apart from that, these Polian vesicles, they also help by in the defensive mechanism of the system, water vascular system, by producing amoeboid cells. Coming to the next structure in the water vascular system, that is the radial canal. From its outer surface, as you see here, the ring canal gives off a radial water canal into each arm that runs throughout the length of the arm and terminates as the lumen of terminal tentacle. As we have seen, terminal tentacle is a sensory structure. In the arm, the radial water canal runs immediately to the oral side of ambulacral muscles. That means it is oral in position. These radial canals in each arm give out two series of short, narrow, transverse branches called lateral or podial canals. Each lateral canal is attached to the base of a tube foot and it is provided with a wall to prevent the backward flow of water into the radial canal. That means there is only unilateral flow of water, that is towards the tube feet, never in the reverse direction. Coming to the structure of tube feet, there are 4 rows of tube feet in each ambulacral groove, as we have studied earlier. Then a tube foot, the podium, as you see here, is a hollow structure. It is elastic, thin-walled, closed cylinder-like structure having an upper sac-like ampulla and a middle podium and a lower disc-like structure called sucker. The ampulla of the tube foot lies within the arm, projecting into the coelom above the ambulacral pore. This ambulacral pore, which is a gap between the adjacent ambulacral ossicles, provides a space for the passage of podium into the outside. So thereby the tube feet are chief locomotory and also respiratory organs of Astreus. Here you can see the structure of a sucker and also enlarged view of podium of the tube feet. At the end, let us study the course of circulation of water through the water vascular system. As you see here, from the outside, water enters through the madreporite into the stone canal. From there, it has to go to the ring canal, and from the ring canal, it enters the radial canal. From the radial canal, it has to go to the lateral canal or the podial canal, and from there into the tube feet. Usually, whenever the starfishes, they show the locomotion, the sucker will be closed and thereby lot of water will be stored in this ampulla region and these tube feet, they become rigid. Whenever these tube feet are relaxing or not utilized in the process of locomotion, through the small opening of the sucker, the water will be leaked out. So thereby, from the tube feet, water will never be flowing in the reverse direction. Instead, it will be leaked out through the opening of the sucker of the tube feet. So with that, we finished with the study of water-vascular system, which is a unique system of starfish. And also we have learned the course of circulation of water in the water-vascular system and also the function of the water-vascular system. So here are some of the references for your future studies. Thank you.